Hey everyone, happy Wednesday, happy hump day, and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. This video is going to be a little bit short because it was a little bit of a short day in the shop. It is my son's birthday today. Guy turned 15 and boy is that hard to believe. He is also taller than me already as of like a few months ago, and I'm like 6'1". So he's a pretty tall guy. Anyway, so this morning we did his presents and stuff before I came into work, and then just kind of hung out. My wife made bacon, eggs, sausage and stuff, had that with my morning coffee. And this afternoon we're going to a place called Medieval Times. It's over by Knott's Berry Farm for those of you that are local. If you're not local, you can look up Medieval Times if you don't know what it is. Pretty fun. We've been there once before, and that's what my son wanted to do, so that's what we're doing. So I got to leave a little early. Anyway, so let's talk about what happened today and a little bit yesterday, since I didn't have all the information at the time. So yesterday I mainly mentioned that Rafa did the back brake lines on the bus, and that's true. The only other real thing he did was he got the cradle mount ready for this car. He cleaned it up, painted it and stuff like that, and got it all ready. And so then this morning, the major thing was, or today, was installing the transmission. As you can see, if you saw the thumbnail, you know that it's in there already. Anyway, so yeah, it's kind of a big job on these, especially with the reduction boxes and stuff. And then another thing that was a little time consuming was that we were actually missing the spacers that go in there. So you can see those aluminum pieces. Normally, I guess they're steel, but we didn't have any, so Rafa made some out of some aluminum plate, and they look pretty factory. So yeah, pretty much making those out of thick, I don't know if it's like 1/4-inch aluminum plate, pretty thick stuff, but yeah, he made those and installed those and got this all in and hooked up. And starter's not in yet, but that's no big deal. But yeah, I got the reduction boxes all hooked up to the axles with those spacers that he made, and we're still hunting down a few more parts for the lever brakes. Those of you that haven't seen lever brakes before are in for a real treat when we get those all in and set up. They're super freaking weird and very primitive. I'm pretty sure lever brakes preceded the extension shock type shocks. I think like Model A Fords and stuff had lever brakes on them, and a lot of early cars. Anyway, so you'll see those when we get them installed. We're still trying to hunt down some parts for those. We might end up having to make some parts, but anyway, so that's kind of the major thing with the Barndoor, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, it's got a transmission in it now. And as you know, if you follow the channel, the wiring is done. So yeah, this thing is coming right along. So me, again, I did come in a little late, and now I'm leaving early, so I didn't get quite as much done today as I might have otherwise, but focused on the wiring on this beauty here, this 58 Vert. And as you can see, the wiring is pretty much done now. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll get rid of the zip ties. Again, I usually just put those in to kind of set lengths and stuff and make sure things are going to run neatly. So I did, as I mentioned yesterday, I did have to extend some wires, so you can see, try to do it as neatly as I could. You can see this little like block of these little 1-to-1 connectors here. So yeah, whoever put the wiring harness in didn't pull it far enough toward the front of the car. I tried to pull it, I couldn't really get it far enough. The wires were like that much too short. And so pretty much I gathered wires out of our collection of wires with the right colors and stuff like that on them, and just extended them to the fuse box and to the other places that they go. So there you go, pretty clean. I think you might not even notice that back there if you weren't sort of looking for it. And all this gets covered anyway by the wiring cover. Of course, we still like it to look nice. I don't love the fact that that's there, but I didn't really have much choice because the wires were too short. Put in the switch for the dome lights right there. All I have to do on that now is connect it to a ground, and the rest of it's wired in. So I did install the actual switches on the doors, so you can see the brown wire there for one, and then running kind of neatly over there for the other. The switches are in. What else? The other thing was I did get his switch ready for the semaphores, and I had to paint the housing of it because it wasn't really a good match to his metal interior parts. But the big news is, I guess, is that as you can see, the semaphores are in. So I bench tested these first. They seem to work fine, installed them, and then it took some adjusting. That if anyone who's ever done semaphores before know that they just rarely kind of like drop in there and work great. You have to sort of manhandle them a little bit to get them to not like hit the body and stuff, and they can be a bit of a pain. So yeah, I got that one in, had to again kind of strong arm it a little bit to line it up. This side I actually had to adjust the mechanism itself. It was, so they're made so that they actually latch in the closed position. You can see I can't just like open this. But when you energize them, there's like a piston in there that gets pulled down, and that releases this latch mechanism. The reason they have a latch mechanism on them is kind of interesting, is that when you're going down the street at like, say, you know, freeway speeds, or I don't know, maybe more than 30, 40 miles an hour, if these didn't latch, they would actually like kind of float up on their own, because this can be like a low pressure zone on the side of the car. And so the semaphores will sort of try and float open if that little latch mechanism isn't working. But in the case of this one, the latch mechanism was latching a little too hard, and the semaphore was not able to open when power was applied. So I just had to tweak that a little bit. It's not a big deal. And, you know, get it centered and stuff like that. So yeah, these are in. I tested them in the car just by hooking a battery up to the wires under the dash. So the wires that run to the semaphore are these guys right here. So these will connect to the turn signal stock, or in this case the semaphore stock, semaphore switch. And yeah, that ground, I got to connect the headlight grounds. I think that's it for the wiring, so not too bad. So that is pretty much what I did today. Again, I was here for shorter than usual. So that's it. The only thing is I want to close with some more thank yous. A bunch of you guys bought some more merchandise from the Vintage Classic Specialist merchandise shop. So I want to thank Robert, Jeff, Darren, Rick, who's made his second purchase. He had purchased something the previous day. Terry and Christopher, or Chris. So thank you guys for buying coffee mugs and t-shirts and all that good stuff, stickers. And again, I'm going to try and keep releasing new products periodically. It is a bit time consuming to design them and stuff, but I'm getting better at it. So hopefully I'll be able to keep coming up with fresh designs and stuff to kind of, you know, complement the traditional Vintage Classic Specialist logo, that logo right there. So coming up with some kind of variations on that logo that some of you guys might like. So anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'm going to go home and continue celebrating my son's birthday. So I will see you all again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.